So today we will discuss what I believe are the biggest traps for Supercoach 2020. Don't have a computer right now, it is broken, so just recording on the phone. So hopefully get this done in the one take with no editing. So, first on the list, 1, Jack Steven. I really like Jack Steven as a player. I think he'll be valuable for Geelong, but as a starting pick, so maybe in the back end of the year, he'll be good. But as a starting pick, a lot of things can go wrong with this pick. So we know that he had a few niggles last year, and he's had 2 calf tweaks in the preseason at 30 years of age. When a player has calf issues at 30, it becomes very risky. We know Geelong have stated that they want to start him more forward and then ease him into the midfield. Also, he has those mental health issues. We don't know if he's completely over them. Of course, we hope he is, but it's still an issue, possibly. So for those reasons, there's a lot that can go wrong with Jack Steven as a pick. And for me, he's a no. When Supercoach opened, I wanted to pick him, but the calf issues kind of pushed it over the line for me to say this pick has too much risk attached to it. So Jack Steven, I believe, will be a trap as a starting pick, not necessarily in the back end of the year. Second, we have Nketiah. For me, this is a very obvious one. Man cannot even play 2/3 of a game, which is just ridiculous. So we understand West Coast manage him very heavily. They've always had a second ruckman for him. So even though he can only play 60% of game time, he still can kind of score well. But it's not even that as well. Like that's one thing. You don't know how well he'll score. We know he can score okay. But it's just, then again, he's had a limited preseason. If it's not his knee, it's something else. So just too many injuries, limited preseason, and being in that R2 slot, I don't know if we'll get cover. We just lost Bailey Williams yesterday with hamstring tightness. Don't know if he plays round 1, but don't really want to start a rookie with hamstring tightness 2 weeks out of the season. So yeah, not for me, Nketiah. The risk is too high, especially in that R2 position. So might have cover with Cameron or Cherry, but we don't know. And even those guys will probably be shoved a fair bit forward. So no to Nketiah. There are better R2 options for sure. And the third one I have, Connor Blakely. He's only in 1% of teams, so I've seen him in a few teams on Twitter, so I thought it'd be worth a mention. His name pops up every year. This player is fake news. Forget him forever. He's super injury prone. His role, he should be playing midfield at this stage of his career, but he's still moved around a little bit in the halfback. It looks like the younger blokes have gone past him as well. Wasn't really impressed with him in the first Marsh game. I mean, it's a small sample, but we saw Brayshaw, Chera, a few others play okay. So definitely Connor Blakely, not a fan of him. Also reading some stuff on him, there's a few questions of his professionalism, and he might have done a Wayne Carey. That was a rumour with the Tom Langdon, is it Tom Langdon? Ed Langdon, the Ed Langdon trade, something like that. I don't know why I bring up rumours and stuff, but that rumour did get a bit of traction. So we don't like players that do that. Big no. Finally, the midfielders cheaper than Oliver in the midfield. I'm not saying they are all traps. I'm saying there's a good chance that, we have so many players capable of 115, 112 plus, and a lot of these players under 600, under the price of Oliver, they're not really sure bets, whereas players Oliver and above in price, you would say you'd have reasonable confidence in. So players like McLuggage just doesn't have the inside role yet. But yeah, look, I'm not going to speak bad about McLuggage, but as a Supercoach pick, it's just hard to see him scoring enough points, especially now that they have Elliott Yeo and they have so many young inside midfielders that they need to give games to. McLuggage for now belongs on a wing. Sam Walsh has gained a little bit of traction. We all know the chosen one, how good he can be, how good, we all know he'll be a superstar of the competition. Again, playing too much outside, not enough contested possessions. So that's what we saw in March 1, and I've seen nothing to suggest that he'll play a lot inside just yet. So I expect him to probably crack the 100 mark, but playing not that inside role, it's just so hard to average 115. Pretty much, I can't think of a single outside midfielder that's ever averaged 115. Whitfield without injuries probably gets close. That's about it. And Whitfield's kind of a different sort of player. Another one is Tim Kelly. I'm not saying Tim Kelly is a trap. I'm just saying it's very difficult for him to reach that 112, 115 mark based on what we've seen. Just an observation. Watching Tim Kelly, it feels like his neck was like a little bit fatter. Maybe he's got a bit complacent or something, but that's just an observation. Probably doesn't mean much, but Tim Kelly, he's probably the most likely out of the players under 590k to reach that mark, but it's just so hard to see, especially nearly a Brownlow year, barely averaged 100 last year. What was it, 104, 102, something like that. So not for me, Tim Kelly, but he's probably the most likely though. And also there's Elliott Yeo. The problem with Elliott Yeo is he has a history of being a late out. He's just always been more of an upgrade target. And sometimes Adam Simpson uses him differently. Not often, but differently. So those are the players under 590k, I wouldn't say complete traps. It's just they are pretty close to being irrelevant when we have so many sure bets for not much more in price. So you never know, but for me, I think it's better to take your risk in the defense and forward line than the midfield. So that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I had to do it in one take because I can't do any editing, so that's good. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.